Hi everybody, welcome to EZLynx Live here at wonderful AppliedNet 2024 in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. We're at the Gaylord. We're back here again this year, and we've got an amazing show planned for you today. We have a lot of guests. They're all going to be coming on talking about their experiences at AppliedNet, some of the cool things that they've been able to see from a feature standpoint that we're going to be unveiling. We have Rex Hickling and Chris Bickler from PGI. They're going to be joining us to talk about how PGI is leveraging the EZLynx technology to really help out their agencies. We also have joining us in a little while Beaux Pilgrim, CEO of Reed Insurance. He's going to be talking about automation and how he really utilizes automation. He actually is running a couple sessions, so he'll tell you about some of the sessions that he ran this year. So anybody who's on the fence thinking about whether they want to be at AppliedNet or not next year, definitely stay tuned. He's got some amazing things to talk about. But right now joining us, we have our Senior Vice Presidents. We have Senior Vice President of Engineering, Don Thomas, Senior Vice President of Product, Brenna Johnson. Welcome.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you for having us.
This is your first time?
This is my first time. Excited to be here.
Your office back at the, your room at the, back at our office in Louisville is like 50 steps from the studio?
I have a straight shot.
Right
I have a
there.
straight shot to the studio.
We've never
been on.
So it took bringing them to AppliedNet to get them onto the show. That's what we've done.
Definitely happy to be here.
Okay, wonderful, guys. So one of the things I'd like to touch base with both of you guys on is going to be kind of our focus areas here at EZLynx and at AppliedNet. What have been some of the focus areas that we've really wanted to talk to our agents about that you think is a big thing?
Yeah, so we are looking at coming out with solutions to really help people expand kind of efficiency, manage growth, be able to overcome normal plateaus that other agencies hit. And so we have tools that help with the entire life cycle. So tons of stuff that came out. One of the ones I'm really excited about is what we're doing in proposals. Okay. So agents need proposals for their brand. It's a really important touch point with their customers. And so we have a new tool that helps them digitize that, produce really high quality proposals very quickly, have coverage, their recommended options for their consumers, and then those are shared and interactable. They can interact with those. And so it's just a really great way to put their brand out there, really advocate for themselves during that sales cycle.
So they can include, from what I remember is they can include like multiple quotes from different carriers. Yep. They can identify the one that they want, and they can also include a video. And this video could be of why pick that quote, why they recommend it, or I think somebody mentioned it could be about the agency and promoting them. Right?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that we've seen of ways that agencies are giving that personal touch, even for those consumers who really prefer a digital interaction. The video walkthrough of proposals is a great addition.
Another big thing that's come up at the conference, and it was in the initial keynote that Taylor Rhodes gave. It was also in the keynote that we had for EZLynx, AI. AI is a big question for everybody. We want to understand, how is EZLynx thinking about AI? What are the things that we're doing to really flush out this technology and maximize it for our users versus just creating random stuff? Don, I'm going to pitch that one to you.
Yeah, definitely. You heard Taylor say cloud computing was like the last transformational kind of inflection point in technology. I think AI is going to be another thing that we're going to look back and say, man, that really changed the way we work, the way we change, how we interact with each other. And mainly it's around generative AI. So generative AI, you've heard of ChatGPT and those types of large language models. The main thing that they do is they allow you to have real conversations, anything that have to do with language. So, if you have to summarize information, if you have to create content, that is personalized to your customer, any of that type of, any of those types of features are really well suited for generative AI. And I think the efficiency gain that you will see with our customers and our customers' customers, I think it's going to be just incredible with the new technology.
I think one of the things that's kind of important to think about, even with AI, and I think people get scared about it, right? Yeah. They're scared about, hey, this technology is going to come in here, it's going to do my job, and what am I going to do? Yeah. But it's not really doing that, right? You still have to be involved at the end of the day to determine yes or nay. No.
So I think kind of one of our guiding principles for AI is really we want to make sure that we're transparent and open with our customers with AI. So anytime we have anything in the product that has AI attached to it, you'll very clearly see that something is happening with AI. And we'll take one step further, which is like we won't just perform an action for you with AI. Like you have full control as a customer to say, yes, I want to perform this action or I don't want to perform this action. So, so our main goal is to kind of, have a commitment to kind of earn your trust and maintain your trust around AI. And we've done that with a lot of other technology that Applied and EZLynx has. We want to do that with AI as well.
So they can utilize AI to create some content.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, they're still in control of saying, do I want to put this content in front of my customers or not?
That's right.
And I can change it if I want to, whatever, but they still have the power
Yes,
to do that.
yes.
And that's what we're still going to do.
Exactly, yeah. And doing something like that helps you just increase your efficiency as as an agency owner. It's going to be transformational, I think.
If there was something that you wanted everybody to take away from the conference this year, one key thing, both of you, what do you think? What would that be for each of you that you want people who attend AppliedNet this year to really take away?
I'll go first on
Okay.
this one. So one of the things that we see is that we build these products because we really care about our agencies. We want to see them overcome plateaus. We want to see them successful. We want to see them sell more. We want to see them retain more. We want to see them be able to service more efficiently. And so one of the things that's really great about this is the deep dive sessions and the hands-on content that people can take back to their agencies, they can put in place to really help them get more out of the products they already have. Like those products should be working for them, but a lot of agencies are just really busy and don't have time to understand how to utilize them. This is a great opportunity for them to get to do that and to get to hear from their peers on how they're being used successfully to drive growth and profitability in other agencies.
I think that's one of the neat things. I don't know if anybody's been on the fence. I mean, you've heard AppliedNet is huge. There's this year over 4,000 people here, but there's also over 300 people here for EZLynx. It's a lot of folks. But one of the good things is we have this huge area for us up here, right? It's easy for EZLynx people to find other EZLynx people, network. So
Yeah.
that's really big.
Yeah.
How about you, Don? What's something that you want everybody to take away?
I think one of the cool things we're doing is this whole product partner thing. Like we in product development rely on our customers to give us feedback. We have certain convictions about how we want to do things, but we rely heavily on our customers, and you know this better than I do, right? Like we rely on the feedback from our customers to make sure that we're going down the right path and we're solving the right problems for them. So I think becoming that product partner is really crucial to our success and the success of our agents.
Don, Brenna, thank you so much for joining us. I know it was a lot to get you on. You guys are getting pulled left and right. I'm surprised that you guys are still walking. These guys are in every single meeting you can imagine, and even maybe 2 or 3 meetings at the same time. Don't know how that happens, but they're able to do it all. All right, joining us next, we have Rex and Chris from PGI. They're going to be talking about how they're leveraging EZLynx at PGI with their agencies to be efficient, but also this year's Pinnacle Award winners. So we're going to be talking to them about the award and what that meant for them. Joining us now here on EZLynx Live is the president of Premier Group Insurance, Rick's Hickling. Rick's, welcome.
Thank you, Ryan.
Happy
Good
to
be
have
here.
you on the show. Chris Bickler, manager of technology at Premier Group Insurance.
Great to be here.
Man, so earlier today, these gentlemen right here, you guys won the Pinnacle Award, and congratulations. We're really happy that you guys have been able to win the Pinnacle Award. For those of you out there who don't know what the Pinnacle Award is, each year, Applied recognizes an agency who's really stood out from the pack and has worked with us and partnered with us to bring the technology into their agency to really maximize the benefits. And Premier Group Insurance, you guys knocked it out of the park. Congratulations. If you guys could talk real quick, what are some of the things that you guys are doing from a partnership standpoint? How are you leveraging EZLynx at Premier Group Insurance?
Well, maybe let me give you a little bit of background about who PGI is.
Yeah, PGI, sure.
Yeah, so Premier was founded over 25 years ago with a very simple pledge. Let's say what we're going to do, and then do what we said.
Yeah.
You hear that all the time in business, but very few people actually execute on that, Ryan.
Right.
And Chris, through his technological prowess and partnering with EZLynx, allows us to do that. We have bold plans, we have bold execution. So who we are really is a group of 500 plus agencies, coast to coast, from Washington to Florida, from Connecticut to Southern California.
So all over the U.S.
All over the U.S., coast to coast, and really driving $1 billion in premium in auto, homeowners, and commercial lines, mainly small commercial business insurance.
Okay.
And how they do that is through a framework of best practices to help them optimize their opportunities and minimize their pain points. And that's what we do. We help them, and it's all backed by technology that Mr. Bickler here really deserves the award for the pinnacle, because he, in working with EZLynx, has brought that to the table. And I guess I was going to say we can't say enough about it, but we're going to talk a little bit about that today.
Yeah. So talk about the pinnacle. How have you guys partnered with EZLynx? What are some of the things that you guys are doing? How are you leveraging that technology in order to really make you guys stand out?
So I'll tee it up for Chris and turn it over to him.
Okay.
But I try to view this business, I've been in this business a long time, over 40 years, and a lot of carrier experience, a lot of agency experience amongst our employees. So we're a little bit of a unicorn in that we can see both sides of that symbiotic relationship, the agency side and the carrier side. And so we kind of break it down to what can our best practices do in and outside of technology to help us write more business. Yep. That would tee it up for Sales Center. Keep more business, tee up for Retention Center, and then do so more profitability with better efficiencies, productivity, to help us increase margin, Automation Center. And by doing this and optimizing this, you don't know all of our numbers, you know some of them from a production standpoint, but we run margins, our average agency runs margins exponentially better than top quartile agencies out there in any study.
Wow.
So it's not just how much are you bringing in, how much are you taking home? And we consider this a noble profession because our customers, we need efficiency because the customers operate in a world of choice. They want choice. That's why they buy from us and not a captive carrier. Choice actually is a somewhat inefficient system because we have 12 carriers we're working with. We actually have 200 in Premier, but the average agency has 12 to maybe 15 carriers they're working with. So there's built-in inefficiencies. How do we ever overcome those? Is an entity, a partner like EZLynx, who's an ally, and a leader like Chris, who's a technological brainiac. Chris, please.
Yeah, thank you, Rex. Really, when we've started using EZLynx, we've seen all the growth that's come up to lead to today. There has been just so much improvement and investment that we've seen on your part that has overhauled the native reporting to give agents a summary, and it's easy to use to get to the data that they need in order to make business decisions. But then it also adds that complexity to it that if you need to get more granular, you can get a deeper analysis. And just this whole overhaul that's been done on the reporting platform has been a game changer for everyone. Also, the forward thinking of things with the agency insights with Sales Center, getting that integrated into Automation Center, being able to stay communicating with your clients, and doing an uplift of Client Center as well. Just that customer experience when they first are dealing with what they can see and when they're communicating with the agency.
So what is one of the features in EZLynx that you think has really helped you guys be competitive?
Let me start off with a fundamental backdrop, if you will.
Sure.
So we're a network,
Yeah.
500 agencies, as I said. We have a compelling competitive advantage because all our data is in one system.
Got it.
One system. And so when you speak,
You're not having to communicate over here and communicate over here. It's all.
we don't have to worry about
Yeah.
aggregating the
Right,
data.
correct.
We have it all. And when you have somebody like Chris, and with all the componentry you have, whether it's new business, whether it's efficiencies, whether it's a retention, we're off to the races while others are still trying to aggregate the data. It's a huge, huge advantage for us. But Chris, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Rex. That's a major point too. Is we don't have to integrate our agencies. It makes it simpler for them. They can see everything in one system. Connecting their automated workflows that fits their needs is just a game changer. They can teach their staff how to use these standard operating procedures so it's the same every single time. That is.
I've got to imagine being able to have the same process every time. You know the expected output, what you're going to get every time you do something. Huge for any agency trying to drive SOP. Right? I want the same experience for every customer that calls in. I want the same experience just across the board, right?
Yeah. Well, it is, but it's dynamic. And sometimes people think when they're part of a group, everything has to be exactly the same.
Right.
No. Your agency may be different from that person's
So then you
agency
guys
from
promote the
someone else's.
uniqueness. You still want
Absolutely.
there to be a little bit of that.
This is about your business, and this
Makes
is
sense.
another commonality between EZLynx and us.
Yeah.
We're agency-centric. That means we got to listen. We got to stop and listen. We create a lot of innovation in our own right. EZLynx does as well. Chris is on the council. I'm on the council for your technological council for agencies' input. And what I love about you guys is that you stop and say, there's a song about all I do is win. So at Premier, what we do is we create wins for both agencies and carriers. EZLynx is cut from that same cloth. It's part of your fabric as the culture, not just at a leadership level, but it permeates your organization. At this conference, I look around here, I see people that, they're hooting and hollering about this, and they have this new innovation because they know it's going to make their customers happy. And we'll probably talk about that in a second, about some of the new stuff coming up. But if you share a common vision, a common mission to help agents be successful and carriers along the way, because there is that symbiotic relationship. Lord knows we've learned that from the hard market in a huge way. And then execute on the tactics. At Premier, our values, and a lot of them align with EZLynx's. Success is the standard. Constant improvement is something we expect because the market is dynamic. So you're right on the one hand, there's consistency in the processes, compliance, great customer satisfaction, being profitable. But how each agency goes about it, they put their own authentic self on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think that's what separates them from the herd, right?
Yeah.
It keeps them unique. And that's why they would go with
That's why they're
them
independent.
versus a captive, right? Yep.
All day long. Well, in fact, many of our agents, and by the way, we have agencies that run from $1 or $2 million up to $20 million in premium on an annual basis. But they started out in the captive world. And they leave that, they realize that choice is the name of the game, but there's so much noise out there, both in the group, the network setting, and in technology. I help from a network standpoint to cut through the noise. Our team does, Chris and his team does, from a technology. Because where do you start? You don't have time to read a book on dummies for technology.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so when you have a leader like Chris that can dumb it down for me, if you can dumb it down for me, you can dumb it down for anyone.
There you go.
And then bring it home. It's about bringing it home, and along the way, not creating anything in a vacuum, but getting input from our agents. We have our own agency council. We have our own technology council. And we're on all these carrier councils too. The more we find partners, both on the carrier side and the vendor side like you guys, we see nothing but sunshine coming ahead.
So you mentioned it earlier. You talked about some of the cool new technologies. So far here at AppliedNet 2024, what are some of the cool things that you've seen or heard about that you're excited about at PGI? And we're excited for our agencies to get this, to be able to see this.
Yeah, well again, I'm not a tech person, but AI, every day we hear about something about AI. And has anybody actually had a really user case study? And lo and behold, a few months ago, EZLynx, you go out and you buy one of the top AI outfits in the world.
Plank.
It's dedicated, Plank, that's dedicated to insurance. Not somebody that's going to figure out insurance. They already know insurance. And so we love that. And what I appreciate is you're taking a pragmatic way to say, let's do building blocks for what do agents need to optimize AI, to reduce expenses, increase efficiency, productivities. And what are the building blocks? Let's build on that. And what we heard about at this conference as one theme was AI. Chris, please.
Yeah, I love the transparency and candor, the approach that you take to AI. It's not being oversold to be the end-all be-all, solve every problem that you have. You take it from a practical approach of what problems could we solve with it, and let's start there, and then build on that.
Exactly. Gentlemen, thank you guys so much for coming on. I mean, I think we could just keep going forever, but I know you guys have things to do. But
as long as you're buying the drinks,
Hey, yeah, there we go. It's tonight, right?
All right, that's right.
Rex, thank you guys so much. Chris,
Absolutely.
thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Here in a moment, we're gonna have who's coming on? Oh, Beaux Pilgrim. Beaux Pilgrim's coming on. He's the CEO of Reed Insurance. He's going to be talking to us about some of the cool things that he's covered so far at our conference. He was one of our presenters. So he's going to be talking to everybody who was not able to attend about some of the really neat things that he's been able to cover this year. All right, Beaux Pilgrim, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you on the show. We didn't have you last year, but we have you this year. So Beaux has been able to, he's been a huge help at AppliedNet this year. He's run 2 sessions. You're running a session on commissions And
Yes.
you ran a session today
On automation,
on
yes.
automation,
Uh-huh.
which was huge.
Oh yeah, it was packed out. We had to turn people away. It
So
was
there were
massive.
people actually sitting on the floor,
Right.
and they didn't have enough space.
Yeah, it was a little bit
They had
crazy.
to tell people
It
to
was-
leave.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy. We weren't expecting quite that many people, but it was great. A lot of good questions, so it was fantastic.
So for people who might be on the fence
Uh-huh.
about attending AppliedNet, like, maybe I want to go, maybe I don't want to go. I mean, last year we had 100 people. This
Right.
year we had over 300 people register.
Yeah,
so
pretty
it's
amazing.
growing. It's growing in popularity. We're
Right.
excited about it.
Oh yeah.
What would you just say to somebody that's on the fence?
Gosh,
I mean, you're in the
definitely.
sessions, you've run the sessions, you saw today,
Right,
with all the people
right.
who showed up and got turned away. I mean, what would you say?
Oh, I'd say definitely come. Like if you want an opportunity to talk to other agents, learn how to use the system better, definitely come. There's a lot of positive energy here.
Yeah.
I mean, just so many people just hungry to learn, hungry to learn how to use their systems more, and they're just learning how to be able to use the system a lot better and to actually grow their agency. Plus, you just make great agents that are all in the same trenches with you, doing the same sort of thing every day. And like I said, I mean, it's just tons of positive energy here.
So I would imagine that there's a lot of opportunities for if an agent is having an issue, trying to figure out how to
yeah.
solve something.
Yes.
Like I'm in a situation with how do I proactively communicate renewals? Like,
Oh,
geez,
yeah.
like how am I going to handle this, right? Some of that dialogue can be handled here. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
have those conversations in the hallways. You have those conversations
Right,
outside of the sessions and things like that with everybody.
Right, because we have all the different sessions, the learning sessions, and some of those questions come up, like in the automation one. I
Yeah.
mean, those questions came up in that somewhat, and we talked about it a little bit. Talked about it after too, kind of a little sidebar, but also you just have a lot of opportunities to just go off, meet different agents, either EZLynx agents or also
Yep.
applied agents and TAM agents, and just start talking and just saying, hey, where are you from? What do you do? What do you focus on? And then just those conversations just seem to really come out, and everybody's willing to say, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, it's a great part of just the positive energy where here people are just really willing to share what their life stories are, what their pain points are,
Yeah.
and how they fixed it.
I think it's one thing coming from like the EZLynx product team.
Yeah.
You guys out there hearing from us how to use the system, best practices, tips and tricks.
Right.
But I think it's something completely different to have an actual colleague.
Oh,
telling you,
yeah,
I've
yeah.
experienced what you've experienced.
Right.
I've been in that boat.
Right.
This is what I did to get over it.
Right.
Which is, I think, huge. And that's one of the
Oh,
reasons
yeah.
why we wanted to have like you and some of those other key power users involved in some of the sessions this year at AppliedNet, is to be able to relate it really on something that makes sense
Yeah,
to them,
100%.
right?
Yeah, because I mean, every one of the agents has got all the same. At some point or another, they're going to have the same pain points.
Right.
I'm doing the one on producer payables tomorrow.
Yeah.
And there's so many agents out there as they're growing their business. They're using all kind of crazy things like just highlighting commission sheets to doing Excel spreadsheets that are just ridiculously long like this, trying to figure out, they're spending hours and hours doing commissions, producer payables, all that sort of stuff, and just missing a lot of the stuff. And, so they come to a talk like that, and then they learn what is possible. Like they may see it's an offering on the website,
Yep.
but they don't really know what that means
Yeah.
until they hear a fellow agent say, this is what I do. This is the time it saves me. This is how easy it is. And tomorrow I'll walk through and just show, here's the steps, it's easy.
Yep. Yep.
And then they'll be able to see that it's right there at their fingertips and can then implement it.
Yep.
And then be like, crap, why didn't I know this before? Sorry, I probably shouldn't say crap.
Well, whatever.
Well, it's in there
easy here, we
now.
don't care.
It's in there now. At least I didn't say something else.
But that whole idea of, it's easy to implement, it's easy to turn on. I mean, that's
Yes.
that's some of the stuff that you talked about in the automation session, the one that you had to
Yes.
turn people away from. Now, for those who don't realize this, Beaux is a huge advocate of automation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you go
100%.
around, you teach people how to
Yes.
utilize automation in EZLynx, how to build out automated rules.
Right.
So for all the people who could not attend this year,
Uh-huh.
right? If you could automate two things in the system, like today, you could turn on an automation. What would be those two automations that you would tell people to turn on? Like, you
two-
got to turn these on and just let them go.
Yeah, the first two. First one would be just do the birthdays. You want it just that way. You always got your name in front of them.
Yep.
The other one is going to be the onboarding. They've got a template built out in EZLynx that's got 3 steps built into it. Well, actually 4 because there's also a note in there. but it's going to do a thank you, it's going to do a follow-up, and then it's going to do a Google review.
Okay.
I mean, all you got to do is just literally go into Automation Center, turn on workflow, you click like 5 times to just go next, 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 and then hit save, and it's on. And it's on for all your customers. And no agent should not have that turned on.
Now, would you recommend first turning it on and then letting it run and then going in and changing it? Because we have templates that, like you were saying, it has it all built out.
100%.
Let it go first and then go in and fine tune it, see how it does, or like what's the approach?
I think you go in first and just turn it on, like you're suggesting. I think you do that first, because most agents, the mistakes that they make is, one, they go in there to try to do too much stuff.
Okay.
And another thing that they do
it's
is
overwhelming then, right? Like I'm lost, I don't know what.
I don't know what I got on. I don't know what it's doing.
Right,
and they
right,
forget
makes
what
sense.
it's doing. So start off small with that, and then also just don't expect too much. They go in there and they expect it to do all kind of different things, and all of a sudden they're going to start writing all kind of new business, and it's not going to do that. It's going to do those highly repetitive things that you need to do anyway. You need to be telling every one of your customers thank you. You need to be asking for a Google review from every one of them. So just turn that on. Let it do its thing. Let it work for a while. You get comfortable with it working, then go back and maybe modify it some. But just make small incremental changes. You know, what I usually suggest people to do is, okay, let's say you got this list of like 10 things you want it to do. Don't put all 10 things in there. Not right at first. Start off with the first 3. Then add number 4, maybe like a month or 2 months later.
Okay.
Then set yourself a reminder for maybe another month later, add another thing. That way you're getting used to what's happening. You're getting used to what your customer's response is going to be. And also you're giving your team time to know, hey, this is coming. But, you know, the customer emails me and says, hey, you know, asking me about some email. I'm like, I don't even know what it is. You don't want that. You want them to know this is going to start coming. So when they get the response from the customer, then your employee knows, oh yeah, this is happening, and they know how to respond.
Perfect.
You know, nice and slow. You know, remember the tortoise and the rabbit, right? I mean, the tortoise and the hare. Yeah, the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise was the one that won. He was slow, you know, steady, and just, you know, and he won the race. Versus the other guy was all over the place. Don't be the hare.
You heard it here. You heard it from our resident power automation user. Turn them on, let them run for a bit, then make some switches and change some things around.
Yeah. EZLynx has done just a ton of the work already for you. I mean, they just can't go in and just turn everything on. You just need to do it.
Perfect. Beaux, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for being part of the conference this year.
Sure.
It's
a lot of fun
to get up and speak, and we really appreciate all the
stuff.
It's
fun. I love being able to help agents, and I mean, this is a huge help to the agents. To be able to understand their system, automation, EZLynx, automation software, all that stuff is daunting to a lot of producers and agency owners, and this is just helping to be able to make it a whole lot easier for them. And I'm glad to be a part.
If you're ever on the fence about thinking about coming out, hearing him talk about automation, that's the one thing. That should, alone by itself, get you to come out to the conference.
That's
just
right.
to hear his session.
Right.
Beaux, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
That's all the time we have here for EZLynx Live here at AppliedNet 2024. I want to thank all of our guests today. We had an amazing show, and we're having a great conference. Beaux, do you want to say the goodbye? See you all next time?
I guess we'll see you next time. If I can help you in any way, you can find me online. I'm pretty easy to find. Glad to help out in any way I can.
There we go. See you all next time, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye, everybody.
Bye.